Hello fellow fairies, it's Water Fairy VA here, and welcome back to another video. In case you're wondering what the VA in my channel name stands for, by the way, it stands for voice actor because I'm currently editing this, but I had no idea that was the killer. I'm gonna be a voice actor in the future, so if anyone needs a voice actor, hey, I'm here. In this video, I want to talk about my top 3 worst injuries because I actually haven't had terrible injuries, or well, I have, but they weren't that bad to me. And I just thought it'd be a short and simple video to get out, like a story time. And I thought it'd be fun because it's more personal. So I'm going to go from the not as bad injuries as 3 to the worst injury. That will be number 1. So the third worst injury I've ever had was when I broke my foot. I was 10 when I broke my foot, and I was watching an old Jim Carrey movie called Mask or something with my family, and I was just messing around. I had got up to get a snack or to get to to stretch. I don't remember what I was doing, to be honest. And for some reason I was dancing when I got back to the living room. The lights were dimmed because we were watching a movie. I can't remember if it was night or daytime, but my foot slid too far on a dance move and I heard a crack, and it freaked me out. Everyone in the room saw me do it too, but my brother told me that I probably didn't actually break my foot and that it was just something that happened sometimes, so I let my dad look at it and he didn't see anything wrong, even though he's not a doctor. So I ended up just sitting on the couch with my foot propped up on my dad's lap for the rest of the movie. I don't know the exact time range, but my foot had been hurting for what I'd say was 2 hours, and I was still at home. I even did my chore of drying the dishes, and I moved around on one foot the whole entire time. I don't know why I didn't just ask to go to the doctor, but I didn't. And then eventually when my mom noticed how long it had been and that my foot was still hurting after 2 hours, she took me to the doctor. Nobody thought it was a big deal, but it actually was, because I came home in a black boot with crutches. If you ever broken your foot, you know what I'm talking about. That black boot was so annoying. And the crutches, I never used crutches before that, so it was hard for me to adapt to using crutches. Especially going up the stairs, the front steps to my house. It was really hard to shower too. Trust me, if you have ever broken your foot, you would know how hard it is to shower like that, because it's wet and you don't want to slip, but you can't put your foot down too hard. And I also wasn't allowed to do much physically, which I hated because I liked moving around a lot, though it did get me lots of attention. So there's that. Now the next two, it was very hard to tell what was worse because both of these were really bad and awful to go through. So I ranked it by what sounded scarier, at least to me, because these were scarier for me. I was the one going through them. The one I put in the second place spot was the time I fell out of my swing at my house when I was at maximum 12 years old, and I did a flip in the air and landed face first on the ground. I almost burped in your ear. Anyways, the ground did have grass, but not soft grass, so it still really hurt. And for context, I swing really high in playset swings, so I did a flip pretty high in the air. It would have been really cool, to be honest, because I've never done a flip before, if it didn't hurt me so bad. My mouth had skidded against the ground, so I couldn't really talk, and it took me a second for me to get up. I didn't faint or anything, and I didn't yell or scream because I couldn't, so I kind of just laid there like you would think a cartoon character would do. My entire body felt heavy from the fall, but I picked myself up like the strong person I am, like Muscle Cookie from Cookie Run Kingdom. I've been obsessed with that game recently, it's sponsored. And I made my way to the back door of my house. Literally, my whole family was standing in the kitchen, which was attached to the back door. We have since moved out of that house though, and I looked at everyone in the room like a deer in headlights, basically. I was kind of weak from the fall, and my chest felt heavy because I fell front first. All my stomach and chest and face and all of it hurt, and it ached. I felt like I might faint from the pain, and maybe just from the fear I had alone, because I'm a very anxious person. And when I get scared, I get so scared that I might faint, it's pretty bad. My mom, apparently to her, saw a small bit of blood trickle down the side of my mouth from where I had skidded against the ground. And my mom made me open my mouth to see what was going on in there and what was wrong. And my whole family looked horrified. They described it as seeing a horror movie killer paranormal character, because my gums were completely colored black from how bruised they were. It was really bad, dark black, a little bit of purple. I tried explaining that my swing broke while I was just mindlessly swinging, because I normally just zone out while I'm doing that, and the chain had just snapped, sent me flying and flipping through the air until I landed, but it was kind of hard to explain because of my bruised gums. I don't really remember how long it lasted because my memory sucks, like it's bad. But I know that I couldn't have solid foods for at least a week, and my parents would buy me yogurts, Wendy's Frosties, and puddings. I also couldn't drink out of straws. That irritated me so bad. I couldn't drink out of straws, and I couldn't like put my mouth in like the circular shape to drink either. I had to take small sips. It was very annoying. And to this very day, my gums still look drastically, or like slightly, not drastically, I said that wrong, slightly different than normal gums, but not drastically. And of course, I saved the scariest sounding one for last. This happened when I was 5, but one day my mom was at work and my dad was home with me. I had this hot pink Disney princess themed scooter that I loved riding, but my mom had a rule of not riding it inside the house. My dad was more carefree and thought that me riding the scooter indoors would be fine as long as he was watching me. But this ended up not being true because we had this wooden table with kind of sharp corners that I was scootering around, and bam, I fell into the corner of the table right on my cheek, and it cut and made an entire hole in my cheek. I remember being so scared from it, and my dad was like even more scared because it cut to where you could see the light pink part of the mouth but not the teeth gums. There's like a thin light pink barrier behind the skin, preventing my dad from seeing into my mouth and my cheek. It bled a lot, and my dad rushed to the bathroom first to try cleaning the blood off with a wash rag, and then he rushed me to the hospital. He called my mom and she got off work early to see me in the ER. I had to get my cheek stitched up from the inside, basically. It actually sounds more painful than it was, because even at 5 years old, I didn't really care, and I was just kind of laying there. I didn't really cry, and then the doctor said I was really brave, and that made me really happy. And yet again, also to this day, a life-changing moment. The inside of my cheek is just like a bit more popped out than normal, but it isn't too big or noticeable, so it's not really a big deal. But yeah, those are the worst injuries I've ever gotten from what I can remember. I used to get hurt a lot as a kid, especially when I was like 5 or 6. My dad would just turn around and I would have like 3 new bruises on both my legs from me just playing outside. So yeah, anyways, tell me in the comments down below what your worst injuries are, and don't forget the like and subscribe buttons exist if you want to support me. I wanted to say thank you so much for the support on the last video. I had so many like positive comments. Some people were saying I sounded like a Disney princess. That made me really happy. I never really liked my voice, but now I do, so thanks for that. I want to do more ranting videos like this just because I like talking. I like talking in general and yapping. That's why I put it in my hobbies. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video and for the support on the last video. And goodbye, fellow fairies!